New rule, if converting to Islam is all it takes to get the terrorists off our backs, then all I have to say is...
And where were you during the Boston Marathon?
Oh.
Sam Harris said, Islam is the mother lode of bad ideas, and everyone went fucking nuts on this side of the panel. But it is.
What mode of transportation? Take a camel.
She is my friend Ann Coulter, ladies and gentlemen. There you are.
Hello. 98,
Still
it's a
getting
long
away
time.
with the miniskirt. That's all I could say. Why do they hate us?
It comes from a hate-filled holy book, the Quran, which is taken very literally by its people.
Would you come to this table and have a debate about this with a moderate Muslim?
Find one. This would be a great moment for moderate Muslims who I hear so much about. Why don't you go to the Middle East and fight ISIS? Where are the moderates who want to go fight ISIS if they're so bad, if they hate ISIS so much? The answer is to ask more of Muslims.
Radicalized Muslims is a unique and greater threat. It is the greatest threat. And in the Muslim world, they draw from a vast pool of support. Obviously, there is something that is going on that they're getting from the Quran.
The most popular name in the United Kingdom, Great Britain, this was in the news this week, for babies this year was Muhammad. Am I a racist to feel I'm alarmed by that? Because I am. I don't have to apologize, do I, for not wanting the Western world to be taken over by Islam?
Well,
Sharia law is being institutionalized.
It's a parallel legal system in England. That's a bigger problem than kids named Mohammed.
Then I'm right. But it was against the Islamization of Europe. And then, I know people here right away, oh, that sounds racist. But
statistical fact, Jews are on most of the banks. Jews completely dominate the media, vastly disproportionately represented in all of these professions.
To meet you. Yes. Happy to have you here. The terrorists and the mainstream share a lot of these bad ideas. When all the Syrian refugees were going to Europe, I wasn't for it.
Consider the plight of Europe, which is a continent now flooded with Muslims.
Their cultures are not like ours.
Islam is the only group that tells its members not when in Rome, do as the Romans do, but when in Rome, demand benefits and rape people.
Battered women's shelter of the world, where we're bringing in and
I think that women and girls should be protected from having men who are confused about their sexual identities in their bathrooms. That's
not unreasonable.
That's vastly disproportionately involved in sex crime.
Who is?
Gender people?
Yes. Of course.
Completely black nations. Would we let them vote?
You need to start inviting higher IQ guests, or this is going to be a disaster.
It's not demonizing. That's saying that I'm prejudiced. I'm saying I'm not prejudiced. That's prejudging. I'm not prejudging. I'm judging. They're worse. What's wrong with just saying that?
I am a proud liberal.
I am not insulting Arabs and Muslims. I am keeping it real.
Freedom might not be on their top of their list of what they really want.
Why did they stop traffic and get on their cell phones and honk their horn on September 11th when the thing happened?
When that stuff is in your head, it just gives you this neurological disorder.
How did we get to this place where just describing something is demonizing?
There are a lot of young Muslim men in this country and overseas who are on the edge here.
Talk to women who've ever dated an Arab man. The reviews are not good. Civilization begins with civilizing the men. If Muslim men could get laid more, we wouldn't have this problem.
Oh, come on. You can do better than that.
It's the only religion that acts like the mafia.
Islam is a religion of peace. Do you buy that?
Yeah, they blow you up. There's a PC over there, there's a PC over there, there's a PC over there.
It's been going on 1,000 years, this problem between Islam and the West.
They're violent because they threaten us, and they are threatening. They bring that desert stuff.
It's a culture of suicide bombing. We are dealing with a culture that is in its medieval era.
Hundreds of millions of them support an attack like this. He just pulled that number right out of his ass. Most Muslims.
Vast numbers of Muslim people.
Vast majorities of Muslims?
Absolutely.
Most Muslim people.
Most Muslim people in the world do condone violence.
My favorite new government program is surprising violent religious zealots in the middle of the night and shooting them in the face.
They applaud an attack like this.
Our big enemy is fighting our other big enemy. We don't need to, we just need popcorn. The foreign ministry would do well to watch Bill Maher to learn how to sell Israel's case to a TV audience.
What do you think? I could roll that way. President Bush's stance on Israel has allowed me, for the first time in a long while, to say I wholeheartedly applaud my president.
Can we ask why Israel wins all the time? I think it has something to do with the fact that they believe in science. Can you be gay in Gaza and live? Is there a gay bar in Gaza? I think we would have nuked them 100 times by now.
I love Israel, but, you know, if you fuck with them, they will blow the fuck out of you.
If I'm prime minister, you'll get the job.
I could roll that way, I'm telling you. Stance on Israel has allowed me, for the first time in a long while, to say I wholeheartedly applaud my president.
Can we ask why Israel wins all the time? I think it has something to do with the fact that they believe in science. Can you be gay in Gaza and live? Is there a gay bar in Gaza? I think we would have nuked them 100 times by now.
I love Israel, but, you know, if you fuck with them, they will blow the fuck out of you.
If I'm prime minister, you'll get the job.
I could roll that way, I'm telling you.
Muslims are oppressed by their own people. They do seem like professional refugees sometimes.
An Islamophobe.
Islamophobe,
yes. A silly word that means nothing.
Yes, it's confused with racism as well, because an incredible number of people think Islam is a race.
Yes. Oh, I've heard that, yeah.
You know, I'm a racist. Right, because Islam is a race.
Islam and Muslims are this protected species.
This is the level of logic we're dealing with. I'm not an Islamophobe. That's wrong. I am a truth lover.
You're saying that Islamophobia is not a real thing. That if you're critical of something...
Well, it's not a real thing when we do it.
Right.
Well, no,
it really isn't.
I'm not. You're sound on Islam, unlike most of the people on your side. So
yes,
you're very good.
That's true.
To hell with their culture.
There you go, Dr. Richard Dawkins.
Bigot, Islamophobe.
Right, exactly. Go, Trump, go.
Thanks for coming on. We'll do it again. All right, my love.
And there's a lot of Muslim people in the world. I know most Muslim people would not have carried out an attack like this.
True.
But here's the important point. Hundreds of millions of them support an attack like this. They applaud an attack like this. What they say is, oh, we don't approve of violence, but you know what? When you make fun of the prophet, all bets are off.
Do you really think hundreds of millions of Muslims support this?
Absolutely. That is mainstream in the Muslim world. These are challenging times for the politically correct. I mean, don't blame me for being sexist, because I read this in the New York Times, that Hillary Clinton was going to lose New Hampshire, and then she cried, and people voted for her, especially the women. They wanted to see the robot cry. That's what it was. It was like P.T. Barnum. See the robot cry. You know, she broke the fourth wall. She cried, and then there was blood on the sun. But I've heard of electing a president you want to have a beer with, but electing a president you want to have a good cry with? I mean, it's not a serious country. And I noticed that it was the exact right amount of crying. Did you see that? I mean, it wasn't like a full tear. People would have been like, oh, come on, that's glycerin. That's bullshit. It was like, if it was any more crying, it would have been like Howard Dean's scream. Right? America decided, oh, that's 2 decibels above what we can stand. No. He said, yee-haw! If he had said, woo-woo, oh, that's okay. Bula-bula, that would have been fine. But yee-haw, no, he's out of the race. And the timing of the crying was a little suspicious. I mean, she's been in public life all this time. She never once cried. On the day before her entire career was on the line, the crying comes. So, you know, who do I more believe? Hillary's cry or Roger Clinton's denial? I got to go with Roger on that one. I really do. And you know that this cry was all prompted by a question that Hillary got. She was in a diner where she eats most of her meals. And a woman said to her, I just want to know, how do you do it?
You know, and Hillary went into this long, cheery response about how it was personal for her and she was there to fight for us. And then the woman said, no, I just mean your hair. How do you do your hair?